Kuma maria-ini nginya karia-ini, mwisho wa rami nginya mwisho wa reri, na haria hothe uramukira umemerekia wa Inoro TV. Ngatho cia mwanya ni gwitikira kunyitanira na ithwe miarahuko yo mothe. Riri ari ikereka ria Jumatano ya muthia ya mweri wa Julai kana mweri wa mugwanja njitagwo wa Weru wa Nyambura. Tukiambiriria kaunti-ini ya Laikipia, family ya Julie Wangui, muiretu wa kurwa miaka 24, uria wirikanaga akwirire moko-ini ma borithi tauni-ini ya Nanyuki thutha wa mururungano wa tariki 7 mweri uyu, riu irathingata kihoto thutha wa moimirira ma uthuthuria wa mwiri wake kurutwo na njira ina kiriga. Family no yugite ati yakungirio wara kuma kiambiriria hindi ria uthuthuria wa mbere wa tabanirio, no na moimirira ma keri marutwo maramatigire na ciuria nyingi amuona riboti ya uthuthuria uyu matire maraneo. Githui wa Wairimu niwe uratuhingurira mohoro ma Inoro miaraho muthenya wa umuthi.
Family no yugite gitumi gia gikuo kia Julie Wangui kiambiriirie kugia kiriga riria kwageire na muthuthuria wa miri wa thirikari wagire kumera ati ni wa thirikari na makimukombora ari wa family, no magikinya gwika uthuthuria niho mamenyeire ati ni wa thirikari uguo uthuthuria ugikwo matiari na wao.
And she told us she can do it for us as a private pathologist, and she said she need 100,000. But she said 50 down, and then when we are done, I will do a good job for you. She was just trying to make herself look so good, so specialized with everything. But she never told us that she was a government pathologist.
The chief pathologist by the government happens to have also been hired by the family to appear for them in this post-mortem. None of it was disclosed to us, neither to the family nor to we during the initial start of the post-mortem.
Mathiete na mbere gutariria ati ni gukoretwo na mihinga mingi ironeka gukorwo ikiritwo ni thirikari muoroto ari kuhitha uma.
And then we are told to shut off the phones, and the things that we're going to talk here, zip. Why should we zip? Because they know what they know. We have already taken care of everything, but they ran away without telling us an answer.
Maya magithiaga na mbere na Nanyuki, Senator wa kaunti ino John Kenywa ni athingatite thirikari kuheana ndeto kiumburo ciĩgie ikuo cia Julie na aria angi makwirire moko-ini ma borithi.
In the statement, the committee should address the following: 1, an account by the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner General of Prisons on the circumstances surrounding the arrests, detention and death of Ms. Julia Njoki, as well as the fatal shooting of Mr. Thomas Gashwara, including the operational decisions taken during the Sabasaba protests and the disciplinary measures taken against the officers involved.
Reu family no yugite yerekeire igoti-ini gwetha kihoto kuo.
What actually happened to Julie? Was it trauma? Was it what they claim? We do not know. But from where we sit, what they claim does not stand with us. We go Bari so that we can settle the case. Then we give our attorney, Ms. Jaja, to go to court, and we sue whatever we think we are suing.
Gukinyiria riu ni mahetwo rutha rwa kuoya mwiri wa Julie mochari-ini wa thibitari wa Cottage na riboti ya maumirira ma uthuthuria wa mwiri wake. Handu-ini ha Inoro TV de kaunti-ini ya Laikipia, njitagwo Githui wa Wairimu.
Nao athiriti akuhi atongoria a kiama kia DCP ni marurunganite magitetia maabitha a ugitiri makiuga maratinda makihungwo mahuri ni kiria meretwo ati ni kwigiritania na kuriha andu hindi ya mirurungano. Waithira Nduati wa Mwangi eno horo makiria.
Jaya wabici cia maabitha a uthuthuria a DCI mwena wa Mugoya kaunti-ini ya Embu, athiriti hakuhi atongoria a kiama kia DCP marorunganite magitetia uria maabitha a ugitiri maramahahithia na kumagiritania na gucogira ngui hindi ya mirurungano na njira ya kuriha rurungani. Hamwe na aria maraikitio ngono muthenya wa Kiumia ni Evans Ngari, uria uragiritanio na mubunge wa Manyata Gitonga Mukunji, uria nake uraikitio ngono ni kiria kwirikanite ni gucogira ngui hindi ya mirurungano.
Ciuria ithatu. Kia mbere, ngirinya nekirire Roy Mutembei ciaki na merani cia jacket na gurite gwake. Na urua ngiri 20 nuroneka nwekirire mundu witagwa Morris Nyaga na mwira kwina matangia menderie ma kuria gwakwa comrades ma konivamu niguo ni guti undu wingi na urua ngina mera ni guti na undu wingi mbisi na guti na undu wingi mbisi na nyi guti na undu wingi mambera mani accuse naguo kana uriku
kwi mbesa na tumiritwo ni murata wa kwita kwa barara siringi 4,000 agura jacket kwa ndukari tariki 21 mweri wa kana agura jacket yakimbikirira mbia mpesa riu icio nicio mbesa tukwiragwo ati ni cia kufund terrorism na maundu ma muthemba ucio rungi na uri atiri mwana egua 4,000 ikimobilize mucemanio kana ikagomithia andu
maugite kiria marekwirwo gitire na mithingi ya kuigana kuona o gwakia gwatuka moroto wao ni kugitira biashara ciao na gutire hindi mangicugira ngui kurugamia uruti wira.
Nilikuwa nimesamoniwa na DCI leo on allegations that nilitumiwa pesa 5,500 ambayo inasemekana nilikuwa na fund maandamano indirectly na kumobilize nayo. Na sasa mimi nauliza, unaweza mobilize na 5,000 kweli? Hiyo pesa mimi nilikuwa nimetumiwa nisaidie watu ambao walikuwa wamekwama na mwili yao pale General.
Kanera DCI na tumero ngiri kivao. Na ndole mese wega nini na kiravu. Na nie wa mwisho wa mweri no nginya ngeka event yeno muthenya wena mukonja ndomere ngiri kivao. Na twamubure thimu tukwikira ro speaker tukumwira mundu turenda kunyo njovi tugurire njovi atuma ngiri kivao thimu ri yakwa within 10 minutes mbia wa icio na river biro
manyitirire ati meguthie na mbere na kuorota thirikari haria yahingira ritho mendekithia mao na matikoguoyohio ni mahahura maria maroneka marakiririo ni uteti.
No mbugire andu akire mari na andu aria twi nao ni mageria ikuroria terrorist kavora mamenye andu aria marathukangia guku matumitwo ni ariku tondu matuti andu athayo na tutima undu mengi
ndethereru ati twambie kunyitwa tu wana tukanyitwa maita 50 wana matunyite maita 1,000 magatunyitaga maturekia tukauga one time.
Ngiribotere Inoro TV ni ejetago Waithira Duati wa Mwangi.
Mutongoria wa kiama kia DCP Rigathi Gachagua ni athiete na mbere na gutungio mbukirira agitetio ni kiria gituikite kihunjio kia uteti wa ngayukano na ukabira. Waica ikuhi kumugiriria ni mumbunge wa Turukana Cecilia Asinyen uria ugite ati Gachagua ndarehumba nguo ya mutongoria wa gibururi kuona ari icera-ini riake Amerika aronekana taracemania tu na andu a kuma gitaru gia kirima. Asinyen uria waritie thutha wa gucemania na ikundi cia ayuthi na atumia na kumatuga na indo citiganite cia kwihura njeki biacara-ini oho ni areganite na uhoro wa ati mbeca iria ikoretwo ikinyagio matura-ini tabarira-ini cia kuhura muingi njeki cirarutwo kigina-ini gia thirikari.
Lakini akimaliza hiyo tu vile iko hivyo, it will cement the fact that we are saying he is a tribalist. Tunapewa pesa na rais kwenda kuchangisha, hiyo ni uongo kwa sababu sisi ni viongozi.
President wa bururi wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni ni acerete guku bururi-ini na agacemania na President William Ruto na kahinde-ini gaka mari thingira-ini wa iregi ni hindi mararekereria ndumiriri ya hamwe.
Uganda are joined together not only by geographical proximity but also by a long-standing spirit of brotherhood and mutual support within the East African community. My deliberations with President Museveni spanned an extensive range of bilateral, regional, and continental priorities. We reaffirmed our united stance on closer collaboration in key sectors such as infrastructure, trade, energy, security, and regional integration. Our cooperation in these areas aims to catalyze economic development, foster people-to-people ties, and ensure that our engagements translate into tangible benefits for the peoples of our two countries. We are united in our commitment to deepening bilateral cooperation and delivering shared prosperity for our citizens, while also working together towards a stronger and more integrated region. I am pleased to announce the signing, as we've just witnessed, of 8 additional bilateral memoranda of understanding, building on the 17 agreements already in place. These new MOUs will foster and further strengthen our legal and institutional cooperation across strategic sectors that include, as we have witnessed, the MOU on mining, a joint promotion exercise that will be responsible for mineral exploitation, institutional capacity building, and address cross-border smuggling of minerals. The MOU on transport and logistics is aimed at modernizing transport systems and enhancing mobility for people and goods between our two countries. It now gives us an opportunity, as I have briefed President Museveni, on the transport corridor between Kenya and Uganda and the greater East African region into DRC and CAR. I have informed His Excellency the President of our commitment and conclusion on negotiations between partners and the Republic of Kenya on the extension of the railway from Naivasha to Kisumu and finally to Malaba to join the railway that will now go into Uganda and into the DRC. And that we intend, with all programs being in place, to begin that program before the end of this year. I have also briefed His Excellency the President of the commencement of the extension of the dualling of the road from Nairobi to Nakuru to Mau Summit and eventually to Malaba, again to ease transport and logistics between our two countries and also into the East African region. The MOU we have just signed provides a robust framework for that engagement to happen. The MOU on standards and quality assurance is to strengthen the collaboration between our two bureaus of standards, again to enhance trade and to eliminate illicit, substandard, and contraband goods finding their way into our markets. The MOU on agriculture and animal husbandry will expand our cooperation in both veterinary and crop health, innovation, and of course to foster food security in our region. The MOU on fisheries and aquaculture will focus on the management and the joint capacity building of the resources that we have in the space in our waters, both in Kenya and Uganda, and to see how we can leverage the opportunities that are in the blue economy, not just to expand our economies, but also to build on our food security requirements. The MOU on the support of sustainable urban development of the Greater Busia Metro project, which will be undertaken between this year and 2028, will seek to facilitate the implementation of joint programs on infrastructure and other development projects in Busia. I'm happy that the governor of Busia County from Kenya is in our midst, and he has come to make sure that we don't forget that this is an important project, because the Metro of Busia is a shared city, both between Kenya and Uganda. We have Busia on the Kenyan side, and we also have Busia on the Ugandan side, and we have communities that speak the same language on both sides. And this will give us the opportunity to do the expanded market, which is an East African initiative to create the transport corridor and infrastructure for the one border post to facilitate easier movement of goods and services into and out of Uganda, to the port of Mombasa and to the East African region on the other side. The MOU on tourism is to promote joint destination and marketing, cultural exchange, and ecotourism. Emormor will now find it much more easy to find his way into Kenya, As you are aware, Mr. President, we have the Teso King, who some Kenyans owe allegiance to him, so sometimes they find their way to Uganda. Somehow he stays in Uganda. Maybe we'll also find some residence for him in Kenya. But part of it is the whole building, the whole system of cultural tourism between our two regions. And just to confirm to you, Mr. President, I have appointed a special envoy for the Atekar people, which span all the way from the Teso of Uganda and Kenya, the Karamojong, the Turkana, the Pokot, all the way to the people of South Sudan and that region, just to leverage on the culture and tradition and tourism of the communities that live there. Your Excellency, I also appreciate in our consultations that shortly we will be signing the agreement on sharing of resources between the Karamojong and the Turkana communities in northern part of Kenya and Uganda. That will again facilitate greater harmony between the communities living in that area. And on behalf of the people and government of Kenya, and on behalf of the people of Turkana County, to sincerely appreciate your consideration of some of our Kenyans incarcerated in Uganda, that we will shortly be having a conversation on how this can be resolved, both at the government level and at a cultural level. And we look forward to the signing of the agreement on resource sharing that will facilitate these communities to share the resources of water, pasture, and other resources in that region in a manner that is mutually beneficial to the people of our two countries and that promotes greater harmony between the communities there. And these agreements also signify our joint resolve to turn our cooperation into practical results that will directly uplift the lives of both our peoples. We also acknowledged the ongoing negotiations on other important instruments, as I have said, notably the cross-border resource sharing agreement, which we hope to finalize this year. We reiterated the value of the Joint Ministerial Commission as a crucial vehicle for driving our bilateral agenda forward, following the successful second Joint Ministerial Meeting session held in Kampala in May 2024, and our technical teams who have continued working closely to actualize the outcomes that we agreed upon. Your Excellency, I must also commend you and the government of Uganda for facilitating greater understanding of the communities around the Little Rock in Migingo, and the conversation that we have had on how we should bring greater harmony and greater understanding of the communities there, and how we can facilitate the joint sharing of resources. And the MOU that has been signed here on fisheries will also facilitate the use and sharing of the resources in the blue economy in a manner that does not create acrimony, but promotes harmony between the peoples of that region. Kenya is scheduled to host the midterm review of the second joint ministerial conference from the 11th to the 13th of August here in Nairobi this year. At the principal and permanent secretary level, this will be an important platform to evaluate the implementation and progress and to set new priorities for the next phase of engagement. On trade, we reiterated concerns over persistent non-tariff barriers that hinder the flow of goods and frustrate the objectives of our region and the integration exercise that is underway in the East African Community Framework. We emphasize the need for a principled, practical, and time-bound resolution of these barriers, given their direct impact on livelihoods, especially for farmers and traders. The forthcoming Joint Ministerial Conference midterm review and the Joint Trade Committee meeting in October 2025 will be crucial in ensuring that there are positive outcomes on all these fronts. We also committed ourselves to strengthening regional institutions and furthering the objectives of the East African Community, including progress under the Customs Union, Common Markets, Monetary Union, and ultimately a political federation. I shared my view and that of the people of Kenya, and the shared view between the peoples of our two countries on a fast-tracking of the East African Community steps towards a political federation that will bring synergy between the peoples of our two countries and the East African Community in general. The East African Community continues to demonstrate its potential as a good model of effective regional integration. We emphasize the centrality of unity, economic convergence, and shared prosperity as guiding principles for deeper integration. President Museveni and I also held constructive discussions on regional peace and stability, and we reaffirmed our position that security is essential to sustainable development and commended ongoing regional peace-building initiatives. We further agreed to collaborate closely in conflict resolution efforts, advocating inclusive approaches supported by both regional and international frameworks. In conclusion, I sincerely thank our elder, His Excellency President Museveni, for honoring Kenya with his presence and for his strong and enduring leadership in East Africa. And Kenya remains a dedicated partner and a true friend of the people, government, and Republic of Uganda. I thank you. Let me allow Mzee now to make his remarks. Karibu Mzee.
His Excellency President Ruto and the Honorable Ministers, you have covered the whole spectrum of what we discussed. But what I want to emphasize are 2 points. Point number one is kuamuka. Inaonekana tumeanza kuamuka kutoka kwenye usingizi. Because the big problem of Africa is that I used to also be a very active Christian. But later on I went to fight that. I would have been a bishop. Now, in the Church of Uganda prayer book, what you call the Anglicans, there's a statement very strong in our local languages. Balekanga bye basande kukola, ne bakola bye batusande kukola, n'amazima tegali mu bo. They left undone what they ought to have done, and they did that they ought not have done, and there's no truth in them. I don't know where they got it in the Bible, but it is in the prayer book. In the Bible also. The bishop has told you. Now, this is really the big problem of Africa. And you young people, when I see people doing all sorts of things, arguing and so on, I wait to hear for the content. What are they arguing about? When they are talking about small things. But the big thing is modern economies are built on production of goods and services. The more goods and services you produce, especially industrially and agriculture and so on, the wealthier you are. But when you produce goods and services, the next question is, who buys what you produce? So the issue of the producers and the consumers is at the center of a modern economy. So therefore, when you see people, leaders, whatever they are, just talking about all other things, this one, why are you not talking about the market? Nani atanunua bidhaa zako? If you don't answer that and you say you are a leader, then there are serious issues. So therefore, here I can see that we are waking up to talk about the market of East Africa, the market of Africa. Because if we don't do that, the future is very bleak. You can see two continents. Nguo ya hii kitu imetoka. Nguo yake. Iko hapa. Nguo yake. You can see two areas. The United States of America and Latin America. In terms of natural resources, Latin America may have more resources than USA. Latin America, big rivers, the Amazon, forests, madini, minerals, agriculture, everything is there in Latin America. Yes, USA has, but not as much as I have got that feeling that Latin America may have more natural resources than the USA. So the question then is, why is USA prosperous and Latin America in misery? You see those people walking on foot from Latin America going to heaven, United States. Wanafikiri America, USA ndio binguni, wamesahau kwamba God ndio yuko binguni. They are now going to the USA because it's their salvation. Why? I think the difference is in the organization. When those people formed the nucleus of the United States by uniting the 13 colonies of the British, they are the ones who started the core of that prosperity. USA has expanded, it has got a big market. So, ukiwa mfanya biashara, unaanzisha biashara yako in the USA, things are easy. You've got a big market of 300 million people. You can sell from New York to California. The whole space is one market. But in Latin America, El Salvador, small thing here. Honduras, small thing here. Nicaragua, Panama, I don't know, you can't even count them. Rich in countries, rich in presidents, but poor in everything else. So really, you, the East Africans, you should. I'm glad we are working up on this issue. So this is number one. Now, number two is the rationalization. Because you can see, the other day I was having a meeting with somebody from, I think he's from Nairobi, but he's a Chinese, working for the international systems. I think World Bank or something like that, based here. And he was reminding me that countries in Southeast Asia, big and small, Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Cambodia, all of them have got access to the sea. Wako karibu na bahari. Here, where the continent is fragmented economically, you have got countries like Uganda, Republic of Uganda, has no access to the ocean. South Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, Central African Republic, Chad, I think Chad also. Even Ethiopia, that big country, no access to the sea. So, and people are not working to solve that. They are content. President, minister, what are you ministering? You are not solving the issue of market. You are not solving the problem of access to the ocean. How would you develop? How? Exactly how? And instead you're talking about small things, who will be president, whoever is president, you will face those problems. So therefore, I'm very happy to be here and discuss with His Excellency all these issues, because that's what we were discussing. How can you have the sitting room in another country, the bedroom in another country, the kitchen in another country? What sort of arrangement is this? They have invited me to talk to the National Defense College tomorrow. I will talk more about this issue of waking up, kuamuka, and rationalization. Kufanya mambo ambayo yuko na akili, sio kufanya mambo bila akili. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'm the one who applied to say, Your Excellency, I want to come and see you. So he allowed me to say, you come. I'm very, very happy to be here. And I'm glad now we have settled with my Suba relative who have signed the document. Where is the Suba man? Aritoka. That little fishing with our Suba people. At Migingo. Asante sana.
Your Excellencies, for the joint press statement, and that brings us to.
Sorry, Mzee, I did allow the Minister for Finance to go and attend to your good friend from Migingo, and also my Deputy President had to attend to something else. But just to confirm again that the one item that I forgot that is important in line with what Mzee has said in what we produce is that we have agreed with President Museveni that I will be going to Uganda in October or maybe latest November for the groundbreaking ceremony of the largest steel factory in our region, in Tororo. That is a joint project between Kenya and Uganda. Kenyan investors, Ugandan resources. It's a joint project that is going to reduce our imports of steel into our region and use the resources that we have, not just to produce steel for our construction industry and all the other industries, but also to export that steel into our region and into the rest of the world. And again, I want, on behalf of the government and people of Kenya and investors from Kenya, President Museveni, to thank you for your leadership, your support, your goodwill, and that of your government in facilitating this joint investment that is going to be in Tororo. And just to make a small correction, that I am not a bishop, but I have made a commitment that when I am done with being president, I will be an evangelist. I know that you have a serious grounding as a Christian, because I remember when I came to see you and you prayed for the food in Kenya-Uganda. And when I asked you why are you praying using a language I can't understand, you say that is how you were taught when you were young. But again, Mzee, to appreciate your wisdom, as always. Whenever you come visit us, we like to listen to you as an elder and as a person who has been a leader in our region going into the future. Asanteni sana. Welcome to lunch.
Let us all rise as we allow the two heads of state to exit briefly before we progress to lunch.
Nakorwo thingira-inĩ wa iregi maita karondo ũguo no ngwĩre atĩ hau mekwaragiria nĩ nyunjũrĩ wa harĩa ndudu ya maminista icemanagia na mukira ũrĩa ũngĩ wa harĩa mekwaragiria nĩ nyũmba njerũ ya thingira wa iregi. Na President William Ruto na mũrũnawe wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni nĩ marĩrĩria maũndũ karondo marĩa megemainie na ũnyitanĩri wa mabũrũri maya merĩ, wonjoria, tabarĩra cia ũthii wa na mbere iria cikũnyitithania mabũrũri maya, makĩria waki wa barabara ya gwaka na kwararamia barabara ya Waiyakiwe gũthiĩ nginya mwena wa Mau Summit na nginyagia ndagĩka ya mũthia ĩgakinya mwena wa Maraba. Wangui wa Mwangi ethingira-inĩ wa iregi ekwambĩka kambĩ itũ kũu na gũtigĩrĩra atĩ maũndũ marĩa mothe mekumĩra thabarĩ-inĩ ĩno nĩ atũmenyithia mohoro-inĩ marĩa mekũrũmĩrĩra. Tũkwamba gũikĩria no ndũgathiĩ haraya tondũ tũracokereria na mohoro mangĩ maingĩ.
Guess what? Citizen Duca now delivers! Get amazing discount on your favorite essentials and have them brought straight to your doorstep, all for just 200 shillings delivery fee. Go to citizenduca.com, select the product you want, pay, and we'll handle the rest.
Citizen Duca, the home of discount.
Big or small, you can jenga your dream home affordably with our 10.5 million Kenya shillings loan limit. Now usifinye budget, 105% financing yetu inakava full house amount na hata part of the closing charges. Kama umetense juu ya kulipa loan, tuliza. Interest yetu from 9% ni pocket friendly. Na ukona time kulipa mortgage yako with our up to 25-year repayment period. It's time to jenga your dreams with KCB Affordable Mortgage. Call us on 0711 087 000. KCB, for people, for better.
There's a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
Ni uretha mabati mena hinya, magemu na makwihokwo ma kugita nyumba yaku. Ndugethe kungitiga guku Heritage Mabati Mills. Tuthondekaga mabati ma gutura, magemu na mathogora mubashirire ta box profile, brick tile, Roman tile, stone coated na mangi maingi. Twina discounts utangiona kundu kungi, mitaratara mihuthu ya marihi undu mwe na kuriha kahora na installments huthu. Oho ne tukurehagira mabati na ruwa na mituki uri haria hothe uri guothe bururi-ini na ihinda ria mathaa 72. Tuhurire thimu 0746 667 456 kana utucerere Thika Road exit 13. Heritage Mabati Mills, the proof is on the roof.
Liliangurarire mbaraini cia muturire uyu ndokahariwe ni unumbu yagia irondoko hano gakirire.
Ungienda rwimbo ruru rutuike rugambi rwa thimu yaku hihinya star 812 star 789 hash no uririkane Inoro nikuo mucie wa aini othe.
Nitwacokereria tuthie na mbere na mohoro. Miaka ya uhuthiri wa njohi riu ni yongereirwo kuma miaka 18 nginya miaka 21 guku ruhonge rwa gibururi rwa kuhurana na uhuthiri wa dawa cia kurefia na njohi na kada rukigathika mawatho ma kuramata thuguri na uhuthiri wa dawa ici matura-ini. Na kada ni ikirire mikana kabuni kana athondeki a njohi kurugamirira ifidi bitika cia mathako kana timu o ciothe guku bururi-ini. Minister wogiteri Kipchumba Murkomen augite ministry yake ni heanite gutigirira ati uhuthiri wa dawa na njohi cia kurevia ni wanyiha matura-ini, akiuria maafitha a borithi macifu na muingi manyitanire niguo kugacirithia bara eno.
We are going to sack people. We have started sacking them and they will go to court. Any chief, any police officer, any OCS whose jurisdiction is a drug haven will be dealt with according to the law. They will not be transferred. They will be removed from service. Those who are committing these acts will also be prosecuted accordingly.
The first one is the rising of the legal age from 18 to 21. The second is the banning of alcohol ads in the TV. We want our children to learn ABC and not SDU, which is substance use disorder. Banning these ads during prime time. We also want them to mandate them to put warning ads at pictorials on these alcoholic drinks as we do in tobacco.
Minister wogima wa mwiri Eden Duale ni ekinyetie mbere ya kamiti ya bunge igi ugima wa mwiri gutariria mitaratara iria gathikitwo kuhurana na dawa cia kurevia na baki. Duale erite kamiti no ona thengia ya thirikari gwikirira kio kuhurana na aria marahura biashara eno kurio na mihinga mingi iria irahukia bara ino.
There are many things. The children learn both from home environment and they learn from the outside environment, which is the school. But I think as a country, this is a moral question. It is in fact a question for parents, it's a question for religious leaders. When we take our children to Sunday school or to the madrasa, Minister of Health cannot take the role of parenting. We can take the role of enforcement on the big people. But if we want to clean our country, I think where we lost as a country is that the role of parenting has become very deficient in our country. Parents must take that role from an early age, whether it is in terms of these drugs.
Thirikari ni rutite mweke wa mieri makiria ma ina kuri onjoria kurehe mucere muthie wa rangi mweru guku bururi-ini matekurihira magoti. mweke uyu heanitwo ni minister wa kigina John Badi manyitanire na murunawe wa urimi Mutahikagwe kuhitukira gatheti ya thirikari kuria metikiritie mucere muthie wa grade na bemwe tani 500,000 urehwo bururi-ini. Badi augite ati mucere ucio ukirehwo no nginya urumirire mawatho ma ugima wa irio wa kimabũrũri na wa guku bururi-ini na no nginya uheo marua ni ruhonge rwa uthurimi wa wagiriru wa indo guku bururi-ini KEBS, na mweke uyu ukahingwo tariki 31 mweri wa Dithemba mwaka uyu, na thirikari nditariirie gitumi gia gwitikiria mucere urehwo. Nao arimi a kahua bururi-ini no magie na ihumuka thutha wa igoti nene ria Kiruguya kaunti-ini ya Kirinyaga kuongerera mahinda hari kurugamia thirikari kurutithia wira watho wa marehi ma kahua ma imwe kwa imwe kana DSS. Mucirithania wa igoti riri Muthoga wa Mureithi augite ati cira uyu ugathikiririo tariki 1 mweri-ini wa kenda, na nginyagia hindi iyo mawatho maya ma DSS matikarutithio wira, ndeto iria ikenereirwo ni arimi aria makoretwo makiregana na watho uyu.
Who is for the petitioner? Yes.
My name is Gidendo.
Mr. Gidendo, you are Gidendo for Capital Markets. Respondents who have not filed replying affidavits in number 1 will do so in 14 days.
If I read the matter for the first and second respondents, Kiongo.
Attorney General, 1 and 2 respondents.
Mathibitari 32 meru maria makoretwo magiakwo icigo-ini itiganite kaunti-ini ya Kiambu matanyitwo gukorwo marikite na kwanjia kuhuthika Dithemba ya mwaka uyu. Mathibitari maya ni 6 ma gikiro kia level 4 na mangi 26 ma gikiro kia level 3. Kuringana na gavana wa Kiambu Kimani wa Matangi, waki uyu uhuthirite kimanjika gia ciringi bilioni 2.6 matanyari gutigirira ati o ward iri na thibitari wa gikiro kia iguru aikari mangiamukira utungata wa urigitani hakuhi. Charles Gikunga wa Kariuki ari na ripoti ino.
Mathibitari maria manjiriirio gwakwo matura-ini na wodi-ini itiganite kaunti-ini ya Kiambu mari gikiro-ini kia 90% kurika gwakwo makirongorerio kurika mweri-ini wa Dithemba mwaka uyu niguo manjiririe kuhuthika.
Mathibitari 28 na mutuka moya iguru tukamarehe nginya level ya kuherwo dawa handu uikarite ina itada cia gukomwo icio cia level 3. Mathibitari 48 tukamatuma 48 tukamatuma level 3. Uguo ni kuga hari uhoro wigi health ni tuthondekete mathibitari nigetha urigitani wagire.
Kuringana na gavana wa Kiambu Kimani wa Matangi uria ucerete miako-ini ino ya tabarira ici cia mathibitari, aheanite mwihoko wa mitambo na indo kugathikwo niguo thibitari ici irute wira ta uria kurongoreirio.
Mukorwo twina thibitari mwega wa level 3. Level 3 ni kuga thibitari icio at least wena itada 23 cia maternity, itada at least ta 10 imwe cia ciana na cia rume, ukorwo wena dieta ya mirimu itari minene. Thibitari ucio ukorwo wena handu ha kuheanirwo dawa, ukorwo thibitari ucio kwi handu andu meguka makihurwo mbica ngoni x-ray na tumaundu turia tungitatu. Mathibitari mau mothe magirwo gukorwo mari ward cio.
CC wa ugima wa mwiri Kiambu Elias Maina agitariria uria thibitari ici ciakitwo matura-ini na gikiro giacio na uria ciarika ikuhuthia mihango ya urigitani Kiambu na kweheria muhatikano wa arwaru mathibitari-ini maria mari kuo.
Mubango mugaciri murumu, mubango muraciriku wa kugura indo iria ciothe irabatarania he o thibitari nigetha thibitari o yambirie kuruta wira.
Ithuĩ tugateithĩka to gũtirĩ mũndũ ũthia thibitarĩ kũnene, tũrĩũkaga haha hakuhĩ tũgakĩhoya tũteithĩke na dawa na maũndũ marĩa mangĩ na tũingĩrĩrio macini na nĩgetha tũthiĩ na mbere thogota ĩthiĩte na mbere.
Gavana hamwe na arũgamĩrĩria utungata wa ugima wa mwiri Kiambu hamwe na ma MCA a matura maria thibitari ici cirakwo ni macerete guothe kuria tabarira ici iratwarithio na mbere.
Riria turarikireria so turathi tukirora wira uria munini utigarite uria ukurikirira nigetha tondu twina mubango wa kwambia kurehe macini itanda na indo cia laboratory na dawa na indo ciothe ikuvatara thiini wa thibitari nigetha thibitari yo wambirie kuruta wira wa guteithia andu
handu-inĩ ha Inoro TV kuma kaunti-inĩ ya Kiambu njĩtagwo Charles Gĩkunga wa Kariũki.
Ambunge arĩa manyitaga thirikari mbaru rĩu nĩ monekanĩte kũng'ũrĩkio nĩ mĩrũgamo ngũrani ya ica ikuhĩ ya kĩama kĩa ODM ĩrĩa maugĩte atĩ ĩkoretwo ĩrĩ ya kũhĩtithia mũingĩ na gũtumũra gĩthagathago bũrũri-inĩ. Nĩ kumana na mĩario ĩyo rĩu mũmbunge wa Gatũndũ ya Rũgongo Njoroge Kũrũria erĩte mũtongoria wa kĩama kĩa ODM Raila Odinga na thiriti yake maume thirikari-inĩ ya ũrũmwe angorwo nĩ manogete handũ ha kũhĩtithia a Kenya. Werũ wa Mwangi arĩ na riboti ĩno.
Mĩario ya minista wa kĩgĩna na mwandĩki mũnene wa kĩama kĩa ODM Edwin Sifuna ya ica ikuhĩ rĩu nĩ thiĩte na mbere na gũkĩrĩrwo nĩ athiriti ya mũtongoria wa bũrũri ta ĩrĩa ĩtarĩ na kĩharĩro. Mũmbunge wa Gatũndũ ya Rũgongo Njoroge Kũrũria akĩũria mũtongoria wa ODM Raila Odinga na athiriti yake akorwo nĩ manogete gũikara thirikari-inĩ ya ũrũmwe makorwo makĩyeheria.
Nĩ ngwenda kwĩra andũ matige gũthũkĩria thirikari rĩtwa. Mũndũ wĩ thirikari-inĩ ũnogetio nĩ oime handũ ha kwambia gũthũkĩria arĩa angĩ me thĩinĩ wa thirikari. Minista ũcio raugĩte atĩ gũtirĩ na mbia cia gĩthomo gĩa bũrĩ. Nyagĩrĩirwo nĩ kugaga maũndũ marĩa marario thĩinĩ wa cabinet, no ti mũgathiĩ mũcemanio wa cabinet mũgabanga maũndũ mũgacoka gũka na gũkũnja ũgatuĩra maũndũ maku we mwenyewe. Mũndũ ta Raila Odinga na arũmĩrĩri yake handũ wa mũtinde mũkĩhenia William Ruto atĩ mũraruta wĩra mwĩ hamwe mũkamwĩraga mwĩ hamwe no tuko mũrathiĩ kwĩra raia maũndũ mangĩ umai thirikari-inĩ o rĩmwe Ruto ebange na andũ angĩ.
Akĩaria arĩ itũũra-inĩ rĩa Gakowe hĩndĩ ya kũhingũra borithi ĩrĩa yakĩtwo na kĩgĩna kĩa NGCDF, Kũrũria augĩte atĩ wĩra wa ODM matukũ-inĩ ma ica ikuhĩ ũkoretwo arĩ kũruta ndũmĩrĩri cia gũtumũra gĩthagathago bũrũri-inĩ.
Na njĩre andũ aitũ kwĩna mũhuhu ũkoretwo gĩthiĩ na mbere atĩ mbia cia gĩthomo gĩa free nĩ irarutirwo na nĩ maheni. Gũtirĩ mbia ingĩrutwo kana ciongererwo thĩinĩ wa gĩthomo komiti itũ ĩtoĩ na thĩinĩ wa central yothe kũrĩa Gĩkũyũ othe no niĩ Mũgĩkũyũ ũrĩa ũkoragwo thĩinĩ wa komiti ĩyo. Na nĩ ngwenda kwĩra andũ mũru wa mbia cia gĩthomo ũrĩa ũkoragwo ho no atĩ nĩ iceragĩrwo gũtũma thĩinĩ wa mathukuru tondũ itumagwo kũringana na ũrĩa magoti mararĩhwo nĩ wananchi.
Mũnene wake mũmbunge wa Kabete Gĩthua wa macukuru akiuga atĩ thirikari ndĩrĩ na itanya rĩa kũnina gĩthomo gĩtarĩ marĩhi.
Gĩthomo kĩu kĩrerwo kĩa free primary education, it is true nĩ atĩ thirikari itũ nĩ ĩkoretwo ĩkĩheana mbeca. Ũngĩrora ũrĩa yanjirie kuma tene, yanjirie gũkĩamba kũheanwo mirioni ũkĩheanwo ngiri 10 per student, gũgĩũka ngiri 12, gũgĩũka ngiri 16, na nĩ njũĩ thirikari ĩgũthiĩ nginya ĩrĩa yeranĩire cia 22,000 no ĩgwĩka atĩa no ĩgũkinyanĩria. Koguo aciari mũtikagĩe na nganja, gĩthomo ciana citũ no mũhaka ithome na igũthoma kĩ-free.
Aikari itũũra rĩa Gakowe makiuga kũhingũrwo gwa ceceni njerũ ya borithi nĩguo gũteithia harĩ kũhũrana na ciĩko cia ũhagũku wa ũgitĩri ona ũici wa magetha mĩgũnda-inĩ.
Nyihanyiha tondũ anake nĩ makoretwo makĩnyamaria andũ a itũũra no rĩu nĩ gũkĩagĩra.
Tunataka uhalifu ipotee, alafu tuone mazuri vijana yetu Gen Z, muache kung'ang'ana ama kusikia kitu, muache kutuletea ukurafu mingi.
Ngiribotra Inoro TV kuma Gakowe Gatũndũ ya Rũgongo niĩ njĩtagwo Werũ wa Mwangi.
Ngatho cia mwanya nĩ gũthiĩ na mbere na kũnyitanĩra na ithuĩ mohoro-inĩ ma Inoro mĩaraho tũkwamba gũikĩria no mũkĩra ũrĩa ũngĩ wa ihũmũka rĩrĩ rĩa kerĩ nĩ mohoro ma mathako.
is a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
Ruiru Mabati Factory. Abuni guthi area ehotanire hari uthondeki wa mabati guku bururi-ini. Riu ni mokite na wathi mweru mari na mabati ma kiriu mathondeketwo na ikiro cia iguru. Indi ni matigagirira mucii waku ni wagia na riri wa mwanya. Endia mega tu a Ruiru Mabati ni makuheaga specialized service ugathondekerwo mabati kuringana na muigana, design kana rangi uria ugukenagia, ukagia na nyumba kirorerwa na thogora mubashirire. Waigirira order yaku tugagukwira murigo nginyagia site yaku in 72 hours. Share wabici citu Ruiru Town, ningi no hure thimu 0111 050 700.
Hello, Pragia.
Hello?
Uraria na nyina wa Taburinyo na ndigukukithio ko kuria wanjirire Fahari Homes mena broti.
Akona atia ko?
Uria wanjirire kuri kamaka ndakora na uguo kuri. Ona kindu kiramakagia ni kwaga neighbors na kamaka ona ndoka ndakora kwina andu.
Wow, nitakena kuigwa uguo. Ithe ndokiona kwina cukuru cia primary na secondary o hau. Na ningire kanitha munene ta kiurio ko. Na nijue no wona ti haraihu na barabara ya Thika Garissa highway. Na thogora ne kirigana ria 60.
Eni njitagwo Benson Monana, director wa Fahari Homes. Na tuli na broti tigalite kumana wa kithioko. Tuhure thimu namba 0704 000 111 kana tucereka Makis Nevers building, 3rd floor, office number T7.
Fahari Homes me sawa. Ne matwe sawa.
Have you figured out a vacation plan for the kids for the August school holiday? Treat them to an unforgettable 2-night bush safari with View Travel, where adventure meets family bonding. Head to the legendary Masai Mara from just 19,450 Kenya shillings in a van or 23,000 Kenya shillings in a Land Cruiser. Or go wild in Samburu, 2 nights from just 37,100 Kenya shillings in a Land Cruiser. Our Samburu departures are fixed for 8th to 10th and 29th to 31st August. All packages include accommodation, meals, game drives, and endless memories. Changamka, slots are filling fast. Book now and pay in installments with our Lipa Pole Pole plan. Visit viewtravel.com or call 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
Na wathi wagura gaka ona gatingini na ndagika 20 gakaima ngamu yake ndengenyita na he ugwati munene hindire yathi ni kuheheana
Bieko.
Kathie pia isha jama.
Neke. Inyo mwagishoka. Pia gagoka neke.
Ndakuria twa indo citũ tũthie ine angalia sasa.
Interest yetu from 9% ni pocket friendly. Na uko na time kulipa mortgage yako with our up to 25-year repayment period. It's time to jenga your dreams with KCB Affordable Mortgage. KCB, for people, for better.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go.
Imaya mathako. Athaki a timu ya mubira wa maguru kuma bururi-ini wa Niger ni makinyite bururi-ini wa Uganda thikũ inya mbere ya mbĩtĩka cia CHAN kuhurwo mwaki muthia-ini wa kiumia. Manyitĩtwo ũgeni kĩharo-inĩ kĩa ndege kĩa Entebbe na gũcanjamũrwo na nyĩmbo cia kũmanyita ũgeni. Niger maigĩtwo gĩkundi-inĩ gĩa C hamwe na Uganda, South Africa, Algeria na Guinea. Ngucanio-inĩ ya mbere magathaka Jumatatũ tarĩki 4 na Guinea kĩharo-inĩ kĩa Mandela. Nacio mbĩtĩka cia thukuru cia secondary nĩ ciambĩrĩirie kũnyita mwaki kaunti-inĩ ya Kakamega thutha wa kwambĩrĩria mũthenya wa ira. Ateteri a gĩkombe kĩa mũbira wa magũrũ Highway Secondary mambĩrĩirie na kũgũrũ kũru thutha wa kũgũthwo nĩ St Joseph ya Kitale na bao 3-1 ngucanio ĩrĩa ĩthakĩirwo thukuru-inĩ wa Kakamega High. Mbĩtĩka-inĩ ingĩ cia thikũ ya mbere thukuru wa Kangari ũgũthĩte Serani kuma gĩcũa-inĩ bao 2-0. Mbĩtĩka ici no cirathiĩ na mbere mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ. Nĩ thaa 8 cia mĩaraho. Ngatho cia mwanya nĩ gwĩtĩkĩra kũnyitanĩra na ithuĩ mĩarahoko ya ũmũthĩ tũgĩgũtereba thĩinĩ wa mohoro ma Inoro mĩaraho. Handũ-inĩ handũ ũrĩa othe twanyitanĩra nao gũkũrehera ũmemerekia ũyũ, mohoro mangĩ tũgũcoka namo wona ciehanda thaa 10. Gĩa na mĩarahoko mĩega, hwaĩ-inĩ mwega. Njĩtagwo Wawerũ wa Nyambura.